Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so today I'll be tackling this big baby here. You can see this thing is massive. It's about, I want to say about 3 feet in width from here to down there, about 3 feet in width. Some of them are a little bit smaller, but I will be tackling the bigger piece first. Try to chop this down. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to go all the way through, what I'm going to do is cut it in sections. So I'm going to cut here as far in as I can. I'm going to cut it up in chunks, so as to not overwhelm the chainsaw and not to overwhelm myself. The trees are already down. The gas and the power company already cut it down to get it away from the electric poles, but then they just left the thing in the yard. So it was, the pile was maybe like twice this size. After about, this would be my 4th trip. So it's getting down slowly but surely, but I know I was going to need a chainsaw, and I didn't want to have to rent one. Even though I could get a much bigger one, not have to worry about it breaking. Then I would have to put myself under that pressure of getting everything done within a certain time. So now, by having my own so-called chainsaw, let's see how it holds up. Shit, worst case scenario, it breaks. Alright, so over here I got the electric chainsaw with a file. I got 3 batteries. I got the charger inside the vehicle plugged up on my power inverter, and just some hand tools with some files on there. So I'm going to try to set up the camera and start hacking away at this tree, and let's see how this thing holds up. So remember, y'all, gotta pull this back. This is a safety lever. Push it forward, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Pull it back. Let's see how this works. I put the stupid gloves on, man. Damn OJs. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I'm going to have to attack the smaller piece and go get a bigger chainsaw. It's going to take me too long with this 18-inch to attack that. So I'm going to have to find some smaller pieces. It's just too much. I'm probably going to need like a 27-inch chainsaw to get to that. It's just, it'll work, but it's going to take too long. Alright. So I found one section here. A little bit more durable, so I'm gonna attack it and see how that comes out. It's still early, birds are still chirping, and I don't want to be too loud, so excuse me if you can't hear me. Yeah, nothing compares to gas. so long just to cut this one little piece, y'all. Just get a gas heavy duty steel chainsaw, because this thing in there, once it really starts getting on the load, the motor itself starts losing power. So yeah, and I'm gonna want to cut heavier and thicker pieces, because I'm gonna be cutting for firewood, not for a cutting board for cutting meat. So I'm not even going to prolong this video anymore, waste anybody's time. It's just going to be better to get the gas chainsaw, maybe 20, 21, 27-inch chainsaw if you're going to do any serious work. Anything around the yard you could use the electric chainsaw for, or the battery powered Ryobi chainsaw. But yeah, once you don't want to get out in the woods and thinking it's going to do anything serious. All right, y'all, just to give y'all a little recap. As you can see, I got a decent amount of firewood. I didn't stack it too much, and this is why. I think the CRV has done its last hauling, and like I said, I knew she was on our last leg, so I'm not too surprised. I was just kind of really it's herking and jerking just to get it home. I had to clear it with a scanner just to get it started. While I was loading the vehicle, it just cut off on me, so I couldn't get it restarted. Went in the computer, re-cleared it. Well, no, check the code. It says a crank sensor. Just finished cleaning out the CRV. Went and checked to see what the light was about. So the check engine light said it was a camshaft sensor. As you can see, this is the old one here. It is completely melted around, and there's supposed to be 3 pins in there. One of them, the middle one, is gone. So I have a few extra motors, and I slapped a new one in. So this is the old one here. I slapped the new one in. Probably is a good thing I didn't get it in, because it's kind of crooked. If you see it, so I gotta take that back out. But the end of this one is all burnt, so yeah, I might not have to de-pin it. Just pop that middle piece out, put a new one in. I'm assuming all the oil got to it, and that's kind of what happened. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop this white piece out, put a new one in. I thought I would have to de-pin the whole thing, but I guess not. Just gonna have to peel the white piece out because it's burnt. So oil leak ain't gonna get fixed no time soon, so I'll probably put a piece of plastic or something over it to prevent the oil. But yeah, that's what happened. That's what caused the car to be puttering. And a good old Honda, no matter what. And this was with my station wagon also. No matter how much it would pucker and putt, it would still get you home. That's what I love about Hondas. They said Toyotas are like that, but hence why I got so many Hondas. My Civic money shift still got me home. Still had to put a new motor in it though, but hey. Crank sensor was on. I didn't record it because I wasn't sure what was going on. I just decided to put it on the scanner real quick. But it got it restarted once I cleared the code, but the check engine light, it is on, and the car is just herking and jerking to get home. So I just want to get it to the house. Like I said, I didn't expect too much out of it. It was showing me that it was going on its last leg. But ironically, the crank sensor was what I replaced. So I'm not sure what's going on with it, but pretty much from what I know with the crank sensor, it tells the vehicle what position everything is in to let it start. So to wrap up the chainsaw, it did okay, but once you really started once every time it took a bite into anything serious, anything that wasn't dried, it would cut, but it would be at a very slow pace. I'll say this, like, if you are going to split some already split firewood like I did in the previous video, so what I'm finding easiest is to cut it from the bottom a little bit. And then come back. Life changing. Time is the most important thing. Now I can get my firewood situated. That's fine. If you are going to like prune your trees or get rid of some maybe small logs, that's fine, but anything too serious, I wouldn't recommend it. The one thing I would recommend though is if you are in a tree just doing some grooming of your tree, I would recommend you using the electric saw, the Ryobi electric saw for that, because it becomes an inconvenience have to keep cranking the chainsaw. And I know a lot of people, they'll tie their gas chainsaw to a string, keep it running, but just I would say it's a pro if you don't want to have to deal with the inconvenience of constantly restarting the chainsaw, especially in an inconvenient area. If you're going to do any decent amount of work, do like I did and bring multiple batteries, because it when you start putting it to work, it goes through the batteries real quick. But I always said, I'm about to come to a stop. I'll show you guys what I was able to cut with the chainsaw. The really serious stuff you're going to need. I wouldn't necessarily say a gas chainsaw, but you're going to need a much longer chainsaw than the 18-inch. The problem I was having with the battery chainsaw was whenever it got on any significant amount of like pressure, where I could see the difference when I was using the gas powered chainsaw versus the electric one. Was the gas powered chainsaw separated itself under real man's work. But all said and done, it did okay, cutting through like, let's say, maybe like 6, 7 inch, 8-inch logs is not bad. See these pieces, or this is about 10-inch log, but this was the gas and electric company had already halfway cut this. That's why you see it has different shades, because some was more exposed than some. So I just had to come and cut the rest. But I wouldn't recommend for any serious heavy duty work. Now at home I don't really mind too much, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to go out and do a job, I wouldn't recommend bringing a battery chainsaw. Only way I would recommend it is as a backup. I'm sorry Ryobi, because I'm taking a hit just like you're taking a hit, but in all sincerity, it met its limitations real quick once I got out there. And I don't want nobody to go out there and thinking they're going to do some serious work with a battery chainsaw and wind up in a jam. Thankfully I have time. I can always test out the chainsaw, see what works and what doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, I can always go back. Unfortunately, the vehicle started giving me some problems. It's running fine now, but it definitely has a miss somewhere. And I'm not in no rush to get it sorted out. I just wanted to make it back home, so I didn't have to get it towed. So I'm just gonna unload the vehicle, and yeah, that's just my honest opinion, man. It's decent. It's a decent chainsaw. And this is probably my final video on this. So I just want to give it its fair due. It has a purpose in the chainsaw world. The motor itself is pretty strong, but I would recommend you getting more than one battery, so when one dies, you can put the other one on the charger. But when you start getting into anything of anything that offers resistance, I should say, that's where it becomes an issue. But if it can just slide right through it, it's fine. My mind playing tricks on me or something. It must be paper or leaves rolling down the street. It sounded like people walking. But yeah, it's a decent chainsaw. I would say out of a 10, I would give it a 6. I would really give it a 6 because it's very convenient. It's not heavy. It'll do the average person that's living in a home that maybe needs to like move a few branches and stuff out the way. And like I said, if you're up in a tree working and you're not doing anything serious, then it's perfect. But for somebody that's looking to buy one to replace their 27-inch heavy-duty chainsaw, then I definitely wouldn't recommend it unless Ryobi comes out with something that has a bigger battery to generate and hold, not only just to generate the power, but to hold it also. Yeah, so hey man, take care. Peace. One love. Stay up, stay blessed, stay strong.